for chapter 5, modeling data. We're going to be graphing. So we're going to use graphing calculators, or you can use Desmos. So let's go ahead and look at example number 1, talking about linear functions, quadratics, and exponential functions. Of course, quadratics and exponentials are nonlinear, but exponentials do grow faster than quadratics. So when we're making a scatter plot, okay, we're just plotting points. That's all we're going to do. We can put them in Desmos or a graphing calculator, and then we can hit graph and see what they look like, and then we can determine the best fit, uh, and see if it's linear, or see if it's quadratic, or see if it's exponential. Okay, then we can look at this coefficient determination, r squared, to see if it's best to represent a linear function. Okay, and then we can predict, make predictions based on that line of best fit, or a quadratic or exponential, to see what happens later on to make predictions going forward. So example number 1, we're just going to make a scatter plot. And so Desmos or a graphing calculator, so we have our x's, we have our y's. So what we want to do is we want to hit the stat button on our calculator, and we want to hit edit, and then we have a list 1 and list 2. Now if there's already a list of stuff in your list 1, L1, and your L2, you can highlight the top L1 and hit clear, and then it'll clear all these. And then you can go over to list 2, and you can clear that if you need to, and then one at a time you just enter in your x's, -5, enter -4, enter -3, enter, and so on until you have all of them. And then go over to L2 and put all those in, -3, -2.7. Make sure you hit the negative button, not the subtract button, to enter all those in. Okay, and then once all they're in there, you go make sure you have the same number, same amount, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I want to make sure I have 10 numbers in L1 and 10 numbers in L2, or it's not going to work. Okay, then I can go to hit second y equals, which is called stat plot, and I can hit enter. And then I can move over to turn the stat plot on, to hit enter, and then I choose this diagram below that has those little dots on it. It's called a scatter plot. And then once I'm there, once I hit that, I can put in my L1 as my list 1 for my X list, and then go down and hit L2 for my Y list. Now how you can hit those, if you need to, you can hit second stat, and that will help you choose a list of L1, L2, L3, and L4. So when you pick this list of scatter plot and you go into graph it, and for X list you hit L1 if it's there. If it's not there, you can hit second stat and you can choose your L1. And then for your Y list, you can choose L2. If it's not automatically there, you can go in and hit second stat and then choose L2 to put in for your Y list. Then you can hit Windows, check your parameters, from -5 on your X's to +4 on your X's. -3 is the smallest Y, and 17 is the largest. So you can set your window, so maybe -10 to 5, and -5 on your Y to 20 on your Y, right? And then you can hit graph, and it'll graph this scatter plot, right? And then you want to examine it. Okay, so you want to analyze it, see what's going on, see if it's linear, if it's quadratic. So check out the end behavior. As we go to the left, what's it approaching? As we go to the right, what's it approaching? So then which function? Is it linear? Is it quadratic? Is it exponential? Okay, so then you can depend on what the scatter plot looks like, you can determine what type of function it is, and this one would be exponential.